Today, I want to talk to you about where you are on your journey to becoming a spiritual life coach. So, we're going to do a little assessment today, and we're going to talk about the things that are really, really important for you to have in place so that as you're developing your spiritual life coaching presence, you actually are finding yourself feeling empowered and successful. Okay? So I'm going to draw a framework, and this drawing is not symbolic of my ability to coach and mentor. Ooh. Okay, so what I want for you is to become a badass butterfly spiritual life coach. So I'm going to put that right here. Badass butterfly spiritual life coach. So that means that you are a person who has transformed. You've gone from caterpillar to butterfly. You've undergone tremendous transformation, and you are bringing all that beautiful wisdom and all your spirit into a business that's going to help you help other people transform themselves. Okay? So, in order to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach, you need three things. Number one, the foundation of what you need is badassery, because you're a badass butterfly spiritual life coach. So you need badassery. That means that you have strength, confidence, and power, and you own it. Okay? Now, in order to do that, you need spiritual badassery. You need emotional badassery, and you need earthly badassery. That means that you are really, really strong in the spirit world. You understand it, you know how to use it, you're confident, and it's unshakable confidence. Emotional badassery means that you are strong with emotions. You can hold space for yourself and other people as they transform, because you know that is not easy to do. It takes emotional strength to be there for yourself and for other people. Earthly badassery means that you are a badass on earth, that you are good in the 3D world. You know how to be in the three-dimensional world, and you feel confident with it. You can bring the spiritual, the emotional, and the earthly together, and you embody that. So that's the badass butterfly spiritual life coach. Now, let's look at this a little more deeply. To have spiritual badassery, you need to have a divine connection. To have emotional badassery, you need to have true authority. And to have earthly badassery, you need to have your own intuitive business. Now, your divine connection, your ability to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach depends on your ability to connect to the divine, to bring down the messages that you need, and to deliver them to your people. This is what makes us different than career coaches or just life coaches in general. It's because we are connected to the divine, and we channel the divine in order to help other people. So that's really important for us. The emotional badassery comes through your true authority. Now, your authority is your qualifications. What makes you qualified to coach other people, to lead other people, to help other people, okay? And your earthly badassery comes because you have taken all of this, all of that, and brought it down into a form that can serve people consistently reliably, and and for a long duration of time. I don't want to say forever, but it means that you are able to sustain yourself as a life coach and to achieve what you want to achieve for your business through your work as a badass butterfly spiritual life coach. So, in order to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach, you need all of these things to be working together. Now, if you don't have a connection to the divine, you're going to feel ungrounded. And you know what? More than anything, your ego is going to get in the way. Now, if you don't own your true authority, you know what you're going to deal with? Imposter syndrome. I'm not good enough. I'm not qualified. Who do I think I am? Right? And if you don't own your intuitive business, you're always going to be working for somebody else. I'm going to just put over here, the man. You're always going to be working for the man, even though that man could be a woman, and this is not about anything other than you being subjugated to someone else. Someone else is determining your time. They're telling you where to go. They're telling you you can't work from home. You have to work these hours, right? That's in the control of someone else. So if you don't own your own intuitive business, then you're going to be working for someone else, okay? So let's break this down even more. I'm going to draw a little bit more on my picture. Okay. So your spiritual badassery is determined by your connection to the divine. In order to connect to the divine, you need three things. The first is you need to embody the divine feminine. Do you know what I mean when I say that? The divine feminine is your intuition. It is the goddess as she works through you. She opens your mind, your heart chakra. She opens your third eye. She opens your heart chakra. She opens your root chakra. She opens all of your chakras so that you can receive information. We all have goddesses that have been with us, helping us throughout our lives. Your job as a badass butterfly spiritual life coach is to embody intuition and that divine feminine energy and to bring that into earth to use. Now, the next thing you need in order to have a strong divine connection, you need to have and be committed to your divine life purpose. Your divine life purpose is your reason for coming to earth. And you want to be living that and committed to that as a badass butterfly spiritual life coach. If there's any disconnection between you and that, then it means that you aren't fully embodying yourself. You're not living up to your greatest potential. So being connected to your divine life purpose is about listening to your soul and trusting that you are here to do something magnificent, and that is your divine life purpose, okay? And then the next thing that you need to do in order to really master your divine connection is to manifest like a master. And that means that you know how to take the intuitions, the downloads, the inspirations, the insights that the divine feminine brings you, and you know how to bring it into form. And that means, like, even if you need to bring peace into a situation, you know how to tune in and bring in peace. When there's fear, and you know how to bring in the calm, the open-mindedness, the security, the whatever that is that the divine feminine is asking you to do in a certain situation. Now, those things that I just said are all ethereal, but you also need to know how to manifest like a master material things, whether it's showing up at the right place at the right time, or manifesting the medicine you need, or manifesting, your daughter needs a new pair of shoes now. Being able to manifest those things for yourself, being able to manifest the money you need to do what it is you desire to do. This is manifesting like a master. And to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach and means that you're a spiritual badass, which means you know how to do all of these things. Okay? Now, you also need to know how to do all this emotional stuff. You need to be an emotional badass. I need to write that down here. Emotional badass, spiritual badass, right? And an earthly badass. So in order to be an emotional badass, you also need 3 things. Okay? First of all, to be an emotional badass, you need to know how to alchemize pain. Alchemize pain. Now, alchemy is the process of turning a base metal into gold. Now, pain is normally associated with the base aspects of being a human being. It's very earthly. It puts us in our body and not in a good way, okay? So as a badass butterfly spiritual life coach, you have to raise the vibration wherever you go. That's your job, raise the vibration. So when you're confronted with physical pain or emotional pain, if you can't hold your own with that pain, and this is whether it's in you or in someone else, then you're not doing your job, okay? Then you need some work. So a badass butterfly spiritual life coach knows how to raise the vibration of pain so that it's not low, so that it is not in the realm of darkness, but you raise it to the realm of light. You make it where we become at one with the pain, where we are harmonizing, not by lowering ourselves to the pain, but by raising the vibration up to the pain to a level where it's useful, where it can be of service to the person who's experiencing it, to the world, okay? So that's alchemizing pain. The other thing that you have to be able to do as a badass butterfly spiritual life coach is to talk about your own pain. So I'm going to call this your story of pain. So being able to tell your story of pain is one thing, but being able to use your story of pain as a tool for transformation is a totally different thing. This is a really challenging thing to do, and you must take your story of pain and turn it into a healing program that helps other people overcome their pain and their trauma as well. Right? So that is a part of establishing your authority, because in order for you to even receive clients as a spiritual life coach, you have to have some authority. You have to be credible. People have to know that you're qualified. You have to be qualified. So you can become qualified by going through this process, going through a certification like my own, but you also need to receive your authority by being connected to the divine. And the pain that you've overcome in your life also qualifies you. That gives you authority. So your story of pain is really important because it's going to let people know that you are qualified to help them, but it's also going to be the place from which all of your tools will come so that you have a way to help people and to be of service. Okay? Now, the last thing that you need in order to have that true authority is you need your street cred. You need to demonstrate your street credibility. Okay? So, the way you've helped people, your testimonials, written in video form, your case studies where you show that you have studied a certain niche, your certain pain point, that you are an expert. That is your street cred. So your testimonials, the reviews that people have of you, all the positive affirmations, the accolades, the cards that people send you and say thank you, the messages, the emails that people send you saying thank you so much for how you helped me. That is your street cred. Now, if you're new, then maybe you are your only street cred to start, but that matters, because if you can transform you, then you can probably help a lot of other people transform themselves, because we are usually our worst, we're usually the hardest, okay? So this is going to help you establish true authority so that you are an emotional badass. You can evidence that, and that's going to help you be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach. Now, the last section we're going to look at here is intuitive business. So in order to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach, you must have a business, because without a business, you aren't doing anything. You aren't helping anybody. Nobody can see you. Nobody knows you're there, okay? So for me, I personally love business, but I'm also super spiritual. And there's a little breakdown inside me where the spiritual part of me is kind of like, I want to be above business. And the business earthly part of me is like, no, girl, you need to have business. So for me, and what I teach in my program is that the first step to developing a really successful business is to align yourself with some higher principles. So I call these higher principles the 11 commitments, okay? And so in order to launch yourself as a badass butterfly spiritual life coach, you need to declare your 11 commitments. And I won't go into detail about what those are right now, but basically it's great for people like you and me. We're very spiritual, we're very emotional, we're very nurturing, we're very caring. If we're going to have success in business, we want to feel like we are bringing that spirituality and that emotion to our business. Declaring these 11 commitments is going to help us do that with success, so that we feel really, really good about giving our services, but also earning our income. That's going to be really important, okay? So after declaring your 11 commitments, the next thing that you're going to want to do, right? Because this is going to take you out of your comfort zone, because I'm going to ask you to do something really important. The thing that's really important I'm going to ask you to do is to think big. Think big and show up big, right? Think big and show up big. So this is important, because in order to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach, you cannot be imprisoned by negative thinking and feelings of unworthiness. You cannot be a prisoner of fear. You have to think outside the box. You have to think beyond your negative emotions. You have to think beyond your perception of yourself as a limited being. In order to even declare these 11 commitments that I'm going to be asking you to declare, you have to be willing to set big goals, right? Dream really big. You're going to have to see yourself as being more than, well, I'm just one person. If I can just help one person, nope, you got to think beyond that. You have to know that spirit is not going to is not here to work with just one person. Spirit is not taking you through this immense journey just for you to help one person. Spirit has big plans for you. You must open yourself up to those big plans and give birth to everything that Spirit is asking you to do. That's manifesting like a master. That's being in touch with your divine life purpose. That's embodying the divine feminine so that you can handle that. All this work with pain is about understanding that so much pain is in the human condition, and that's what's holding most people back. So your job is to think big and show up big so that you can be of service to Spirit. Okay? Now, the last little piece of this puzzle is for you to employ the divine masculine. So in order to have your intuitive business, you have to employ the divine masculine. Now, we started with embodying the divine feminine. That's all up here. We worked our way around, and now we're employing the divine masculine. The divine masculine is it's simple. It's a rational, methodical, and responsible approach to running your intuitive business. That's all I ask. You be all spiritual. Work with the woo-woo. Work with the emotions, the energy. And I need you to take all that and logically put together your business. Think through your systems. Create systems. Bring consistency. Show up with consistency to your clients who are relying on you to be a professional. That's what I mean by employing the divine masculine, okay? Now, I want you to do a personal self-assessment. I'm going to take you through that right now. I've got 3 colors here. We're going to use green, okay, for when you master something, when you rock it, you own it, you are good at it, you're getting it green. You're going to use orange for things you're not so good at, but you're trying. And you're going to use red for places where you kind of suck, you need help, you're behind, you ain't got it, okay? So I need you to be honest with yourself, and I'm going to try to help you in the best way I can, because this journey to becoming a badass butterfly spiritual life coach is really challenging, and the more honest you are with your self-assessment, the better the journey's going to be, because you're going to demand the help that you need where you need it, okay? So you're going to color, we're going to start here at the top with the embodying the divine feminine. You're going to color this green if you really feel like you own your relationship with Spirit. You feel like you're in touch with the divine feminine. You're in touch with your intuition. You trust it 100%. You are in touch with your spirit guides. You know how to read the spirit guides of other people. You are a great channel for bringing in information from Spirit. You aren't relying 100% on your brain. You're not trying to control everything. You are in touch with the moon. You're in touch with the seasons. You do rituals, right? If you are really rocking that connection with the divine feminine, then you should color this green, okay? You have a meditation practice, you do your yoga, you have a high vibrational lifestyle, you aren't escaping, you are present, you are in life with your eyes wide open, communicating with the divine, okay? Color that green if that is you. You're going to color it orange if you love the divine, but maybe you are not quite as committed to following it as I'm describing, right? Maybe you like it, but you don't meditate all the time, or maybe you don't do the yoga, or maybe, you're not eating the best, maybe you're still escaping, things like that. You can color that in orange if you want to get there, you're working on it, but you're not there yet, okay? Now, let's be honest. You're going to color this in red if you do a lot of escaping, if you you aren't practicing yoga, you cannot get yourself to meditate, you don't do the shadow work, you don't do the journaling, you should be doing those things, but you just aren't. Maybe you're doing 10% of the stuff. Okay, you need to color that in red. No big deal, okay? We're not judging, we're just assessing, okay? Now, most of the people who come to me really, really love the divine, but they're not quite there with all the stuff that needs to happen in order to be like, truly embodying the divine feminine. Most of my people are orange, so I'm going to just color this in orange. Let's get the broad part. There we go. We're going to color that in orange because that's where most of my people are. All right? Now, for the next one, divine life purpose. If you are committed to your divine life purpose, number one, you can identify what your divine life purpose. I know I'm here doing what I need to do. Okay? You are committed to that. Nothing will stop you. Nothing will come up that will take you off the path of your divine life purpose. Then you should color this green. You are in touch with your soul. You and your soul are working together to take you to your divine life purpose so that it manifests in this lifetime. You color that green. Now, for this one, you're going to use orange if you are, you know that there is a divine life purpose, but maybe you don't know what it is, or maybe you know what it is, but you aren't really committed to that because life is getting in the way, and maybe you have some fear, or maybe you just haven't figured it out yet. You're still working toward it. The important thing here is that you know it's there and you're moving toward it consciously. You've said yes to whatever it is, okay? You've said yes to your divine life purpose, even if you don't know exactly how you're going to get there. Color that in orange. Now, you're going to be red if you don't know what your divine life purpose is, or you've heard the call, but you're like, I can't do it because, life is happening and I got to survive. I'm in survival mode. I can't do it. Okay? You got to color that in red. If you've not put your divine life purpose as the forefront of your existence, then you got to color that in red. Okay, most of the people who come to me are orange for this, so I'm going to color this in orange. Okay, now this one, manifest like a master. You're going to color this in green if you are a master manifester, meaning Spirit says, hey, let's do this. You are like, boom, done, Spirit. Spirit says you need to bring peace into this situation. Boom, I know how to bring peace into this situation. If like you come into a place and there's fear, you need to endow courage on people. You need to bless people in this situation with courage. Boom, I know how to bring that in, okay? Now, the other thing with manifesting like a master, you also have to not just be able to manifest ethereal things, you have to also know how to manifest material things, right? So let's say that you want to manifest, I want to move to Paris. I know exactly how to manifest that. Nothing will stop me from moving to Paris. So if you are wanting to manifest a loving, intimate relationship, you know how to manifest a loving, intimate relationship. You want to manifest a great job. You know how to manifest a great job. You know how to work with spirit, to work with elements. You know the law of attraction, and I mean the real law of attraction, not just, visualize and wish, okay? You know how to work with the energy to bring in what it is you want. You're going to use green if you know how to do that, and you can do it when you want, okay? This is the important thing with the green, is that the intention is there and that you're good at it and it can happen. It's flawless. You're a master, okay? Now, you're going to color this in orange if you know the law of attraction and you try to practice it, but you're not very good at it. You don't really have a lot of control over it, okay? And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that, but that's where you would use the orange. If you manifest sometimes, but it's hit or miss, you're not quite a master yet, so you use the orange, all right? Now, you're going to be a red if you just are struggling. You cannot figure out how to manifest what you need. You're always behind the 8 ball. You live your life in the 3D, and you don't know how to use spirit and emotion to bring in the thing that you desire. you would be a red for this, okay? And again, don't worry if you are finding yourself with red. It's all right. It just is showing you where you need to go, what you need help with, okay? Most of my people, when they come to me, love practicing manifesting, but they haven't mastered it yet, but they're working on it, and that's really good. And I do get people who come to me who are coming with the red, and that's okay. By the time they're done with my program, they are manifesting like a master. I am not even kidding. It is really phenomenal what we do. All of this turns to green by the time you're done with my program. Now, here, alchemizing pain. You will know that you're going to color this green if you're a master with the pain. So when you are confronted with emotional pain, you don't close your eyes and hide it. You don't suppress it. You don't deny it. You don't repress it. You don't shove it down. You don't ignore it. And you don't try to escape from it. You don't drink alcohol. You don't smoke weed. You don't do anything that takes you out of the now because the now is too uncomfortable, right? You don't overthink. Okay? So you are comfortable and at one with pain. You can raise the vibration of pain. You have a method for doing it. I'm not saying you don't ever have pain. I'm saying that when the pain comes, you raise that vibration so that most of your life you find, even though you have pain, there is joy and happiness and excitement and enthusiasm within you, even though you have pain. All right? Boom. Let's look at the next one. So you're going to color this orange if you have pain and you know you should be dealing with it, but you aren't so good at it, okay? Maybe you suppress it, but you know that you should be doing something. This is now just really about kind of understanding that you should be taking some action, and maybe you need some help with it, okay? You're going to color yourself in orange there if you know you should be doing something, but maybe you have some trouble, okay? And if you're better, then good, but maybe you're not a green, then you can use orange as well, all right? And you're going to color this in red if you like to deny pain, okay? Like, you get a headache, your first thing is give me some aspirin. You have emotional pain. If something upsets you, you are drinking wine, you are smoking weed, you are escaping, you are binge eating, you're an emotional eater, you are stuffing down your emotions, you got to color that in red, okay? I got to be honest with you. Most of the people, when they come to my program, they are so in the red zone. Most people are not pain alchemists. I do a lot of teaching around this, and this is really important because that's what a badass butterfly spiritual life coach is. She's an alchemist. She's the one who is helping people deal with emotional pain, trauma, and suffering all the time. That's what we do all day long. We elevate that pain to a level where it becomes on the same level with unconditional love. It becomes a high vibrational experience so that the person is no longer experiencing pain. They're just moving forward with their life with freedom. Okay? Let's look at the next one. Your story of pain. Now, again, you're going to be a green if you are in touch with your story of pain, you have written your story of pain, and pain and transformation, I should say, okay? And you're in touch with your story of pain, you've written it down, you understand how you transformed, and you can color that in green if you have created a system around your own pain story. So you understand, you know how to help other people deal with their pain because you have systematized your transformation and you know how to deliver that to other people. You should color that in green if that is the case for you, okay? Now, you can use orange if you have created your story of pain. You know what your story of pain is, and you have done some work to transform, but maybe you haven't documented it all. Maybe you've got it in your head, you think about it, and maybe you've done a lot of journaling about it, but you haven't put it into a form where it's been formalized and systematized so that you can bring it to other people to help them. All right? You can color yourself in orange if you've done that. Now, in my program, when people come to my program, they usually are in the red zone because they're just in touch with their pain. They know they've had pain, but they haven't formalized that pain. They haven't documented it in a way that it's useful for other people, okay? Now remember, what we're looking for here is true authority. So if you can't show that you've gone through something and then talk about how to correct it, then you don't have any authority. The authority's in you, but it's asleep, okay? So we need to systematize that. Most people, when they come to me, haven't done all that, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you bring that, okay? Because that's what's going to give you the credibility to even coach people. That's where you're going to say, hey, this is what I transform. Here's my system. I'm ready, I'm ready. My doors are open. I can help you, okay? And down here, for evidencing your street cred, you're going to definitely be green if you have already created a system and you've gotten people to give you testimonials, you have lots of reviews, you've got lots of messages from people saying, hey, thank you so much, you've really helped me transform this thing, right? And again, we want true authority, so we want that transformation to be about the thing that you're the authority on, okay? So that can be reviews, testimonials, and everything's in writing and ready to present to other people to show your street credibility, okay, your street cred. You can put this in orange if you are, let's say that you're new to this, and you haven't worked with other people, right? That's totally, totally reasonable. However, you've done a lot of work on yourself and you have transformed yourself. So you have the evidence of your own transformation. You can talk about it. It's documented. You know your story of transformation very, very, very clearly. Then go ahead and color yourself in orange right there. Now, you would color yourself in red if you haven't really identified your pain point. This is going back here, okay? You haven't identified your pain point, you haven't formalized it, and you have no evidence of it even within yourself. Like, you're still working on things, and look, this is most normal. I'm going to color this in red because this is where most people come to me. And it's not to say you haven't done any healing work. You've done a lot of healing work. I know it. You would not even be watching this video if you had not done a whole lot of healing work. So I know that you're there. The thing is, if it's not been formalized, you have no authority. If you can't talk about it specifically, if you have no program, you have no message, you don't have any authority. So that's why we have to keep that in the red zone until you build all that stuff up, and then you can move it into the orange and into the green, which is where it must be in order to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach. All right? Now, we're moving into the last section here, and this is in order to have earthly badassery, right? You have to have your intuitive business. So in order to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach, you must have a business, okay? Now, as I was saying earlier, in order to be for me to really thrive in business, I have to feel like I'm not just in it for the money, right? So I have these 11 commitments that are about me. And I'm saying this from my perspective because this is what I'm going to teach you. It's what I had to do for myself to really open up my power to be a strong businesswoman. I had to feel like I was an ethical businesswoman. I had to feel like I wasn't walking all over people. I had to feel like I was serving people who couldn't afford me, right? So, but I still also needed to be true to myself. So, and I want things for myself. I want a lifestyle for myself. So I needed to make sure that I had these 11 powerful commitments that are not about me. They're not about my success or my wealth, but about me giving back to my community, giving to the earth, and being a really good citizen of the world, right? So I'm not going to talk to you about what these things are right now, but if you have thought very deeply about yourself giving to the world, and you know how you want to give to the world, I want you to color that in green. Now, if you've thought about giving to the world, but you haven't really formalized it, you're just like, I know I'm going to give to the world, I just don't know how. Color that in orange, okay? Now, you're going to get this in red if you have not even thought about giving to the world. You're just like, I just got to figure out myself. How am I supposed to think about the world when I can't even figure out myself? You're going to get a red, okay? Most of the people who come into my program are orange here because they know they want to give more to the world, and but they haven't had time to really think about it, but they're aware that it must be more. You're in the red zone if you're in survival mode and you just can't think about more. It's not that you're not a nice person, it's not that you're not a good person, it's just that you're always behind the 8 ball. You can't come up for air to think about other people. You'd put that in the red. But most of the time people come to me, they're in the orange, so I'm going to go ahead and color that orange, okay? Now, for this one, think big and show up big. You're going to color yourself in green here if you think big and you show up big. You are connected to the divine, and the divine can work miracles through you. Like if the divine says, girl, get on a plane and go to Brazil for 6 months, you were like, oh, I'm getting on a plane going to Brazil for 6 months. Spirit's telling me, you think big and you show up big. You're going to do what Spirit asks. Oh my gosh. So let's see. So you're going to color that in green if you are mastering big thinking. There's something else I want to say about that. Thinking big also should refer to your goals, okay? It should refer to your goals and your own dreams and your own ambitions. So I'm really spiritual, and I love these 11 commitments, but you also have to think big for yourself and show up big for yourself. You need to think about what it is you really want to manifest in your life, and you got to be willing to go for that, okay? It can't just be, oh, I'm just going to be selfless. I'm not going to create anything for myself. Well, you got to take care of yourself. You want to have children. You want to send them to college. You want to have a beautiful home for yourself. For me, I want a retreat center. I think big, So this is also about thinking big, showing up big. So you're going to color this in green if you are really good at that. Now, you're going to color this in orange if you think big, or you have big thoughts, but you have no idea of how to manifest those things. Okay, you would color that in orange. Or you think big, but you're kind of like, I don't know how to plan this. I'm not good at sticking to the plan. That's okay. Go ahead and color that in orange. Or if you don't bother to write down your goals, we're going to put that in the red, right? So you're going to color this in red if you don't have big goals, if you don't think big, and if you are, if you feel limited. Again, survival mode keeps coming in for me. So if you're in survival mode and you can't think beyond survival, like if you can't think beyond just earning enough money to survive, or you can't think beyond just seeing enough clients to, to make this much change, okay? We are not life coaches. We are badass butterfly spiritual life coaches. We Spirit is working through us. Spirit is infinite, eternal. It is beyond this. Okay, Spirit is much more than this. If you can only see this and only do this, then you got to color this in red. Okay, most of the time when people come to me, I got to be honest with you, they're either in the red because they just aren't seeing beyond who they are, or there's a little bit in the orange. I'm going to color this in the red because most of the time people are just kind of focused on just surviving, not just surviving, but just they're in their little worlds and they aren't thinking outside. When we start getting into declaring these 11 commitments, that is when the doors open and the people are like, wow, I can do much more than what I thought I could. And we see the way. Going through this whole process helps you also develop the way. And actually, the way is really developed when we go into the divine masculine. So for this last little bit, employing the divine masculine, you would color this in green if you are very good at the systems. You are good at creating the systems for building your business. You have your blog set up, your website set up. You have your social media all in place, and you have your educational strategy, and you've got everything posted ahead of time so that it's going out in a consistent way, and everything is just functioning logically, rationally. So the divine masculine is kind of the counter to the divine feminine. The divine feminine is wild, it's crazy, it just uses its feeling nature, and it'll be here today and then on to the next thing tomorrow. With the divine masculine, employing the divine masculine, you are taking that beautiful energy of the divine feminine and you are creating a business container through which the divine feminine can flow. And so you would do that and you would be green, okay? And by the way, I just realized that my computer, my camera is turning my green marker black. So that's too bad. And I guess if I come up here, okay, it looks green up there, but I haven't used it anywhere here, so never mind. But I don't know why it's turning it black. You can see some, oh well, whatever. Anyway, you would be green if you had all that together with the divine masculine, bringing all of this together through the divine masculine. You would color this in orange if you know that you need all those things to run your business, but you don't have them yet. Okay, you would color those orange. And you would color it red if you know you need those. No, wait, sorry. You would be red if you don't know that you need those things. Do I need to have a blog? Why do I need a blog? Oh, but aren't blogs? I had a lovely lady the other day say, why do I need a blog? Does anybody make money from a blog? I'm like, wow. How else are you going to get the word out about who you are, right? Do I need a YouTube channel? Must I? Look, you're going to color yourself in red if you don't know that you even need to have things in place. And you don't know what you need in place, go ahead and color yourself in red there, all right? So that is the framework. Oh, sorry. Most people who come to me know that they need a business. That's why they're coming to me, because I'm really, really good at giving them the business system as well as giving them all the spiritual and all that emotional stability. So that is my framework, right, for becoming a badass butterfly spiritual life coach. And what I want you to do is to kind of just look back at how you would have colored all of these things in. And I want to invite you to book yourself in for a complimentary discovery session to talk to me more about what it takes for you to become a badass butterfly spiritual life coach, and to tell me maybe, what it is you need and how I can help. I would love the opportunity to talk to you about all that stuff, okay? All right, so there's a link to booking a discovery session call with me in the comments, so feel free to do that. I'd love to talk to you. Also, I'm going to invite you to join my Facebook group. I'll put a link in there as well. Okay? All right, it's Crystal Lynn Bell, Badass Butterfly, signing off. Bye for now. Bye.